At 4:55 in the morning, before the city wakes, you stand at the sink and scrub the dark line under one fingernail. It fades, but it doesn't disappear. Later, in the reunion lobby, the air smells like perfume and cold air conditioning. A glass taps softly against another glass. Someone from your old class smiles, reaches out, and for one small second, their eyes drop toward your hands. Why can a pair of hands suddenly feel like something you want to hide? This is the quiet shame that can show up when honest work leaves marks on the body, and the room you walk into seems built for cleaner stories. We're going to slow down and look at why this happens, without turning it into a flaw in you. Hiding calloused hands is often less about the hands themselves, and more about what you think people will read into them. The rough skin, the small cuts, the stained nails, the stiffness from years of gripping tools can start to feel like a sentence other people are already writing. One common reason is learning that some work gets respected only when it stays invisible. A mechanic can keep other people moving, keep engines alive, save someone's morning, and still feel out of place in a lobby where everyone talks about offices, promotions, and travel. The work matters, but it may not carry the same shine in a room full of polished shoes and easy handshakes. So you slide your hands into your pockets, not because you hate your work, but because you don't want the room to make it feel smaller. In other cases, it grows out of class pressure that no one says out loud. Nobody may be rude, nobody may laugh, the smiles may be perfectly polite. But the thick carpet, the quiet footsteps, the watches, the cologne, the way people compare lives through small updates can make your body feel like it walked into a test without knowing the rules. You can be proud of surviving, and still feel caught by the fear that your survival doesn't look impressive enough. There's also a quieter reason. Old friends can make you meet an older version of yourself. At a reunion, people are not only seeing who you are, it can feel like they are measuring the distance from who you once said you might become. Maybe years ago you pictured a different job, a different shirt, a different kind of ease. So when someone looks down at your hands, it may not only feel like they saw grease and rough skin, it may feel like they saw every plan that took another road. And that is the strange part. The same hands that earned rent, helped family, held tools steady, opened stuck bolts, carried groceries, and kept going through long days can still feel embarrassing in the wrong room. They can be proof of strength and proof of not belonging at the same time. That contradiction is heavy because it asks you to split yourself in two, the person who knows the work was real, and the person who wishes it looked more impressive under chandelier light. Picture this. It's early, almost too early for the building to feel awake. The reunion is being held in a hotel lobby with a long table near the entrance, name tags laid out in neat rows. You arrive before most people because being early feels safer than walking in after the room is full. The carpet is so thick your steps barely make a sound. You pick up your name tag, press it to your shirt, then notice your hands against the white paper. The skin around your knuckles is dry. There is a faint mark near your thumb that soap never fully gets. You put both hands into your pockets right as an old friend sees you. They smile. They say your name in that surprised way people do when time has passed. You smile back. For a moment, it's warm. Then their eyes move down, just briefly, toward your pockets, toward the shape of your hands hidden there, and something inside you tightens. If you've been there, you're not strange. You might know someone who lives like this. This is what quiet shame can look like when it enters a normal room. No one has insulted you. No one has said your work is less. But the body can react before the facts arrive. It can protect you from a judgment that may not even happen, because somewhere along the way, you learn that certain marks tell a story people may not understand gently. Sometimes the hardest part is not the calluses. It is the way you start managing them. You choose how to hold the glass. You fold your arms. You keep your palms turned inward. You laugh a little too fast when someone asks what you do these days. You make your job sound smaller than it is, or you joke before anyone else can make the room awkward. And afterward, maybe in the parking lot, with the morning light finally touching the windshields, you wonder why you felt so exposed. Nothing terrible happened. The conversation was fine. People were friendly enough. But you still leave with that thin aftertaste of having hidden a part of yourself that helped you survive. One small way to meet that moment is to separate the mark from the meaning. The mark might be grease, dry skin, a scar, a thickened palm, a line that will not scrub off. The meaning your mind adds might be, this makes me look behind, this makes me look less, this gives people too much information. When those two things get mixed together, shame grows quickly. When they are gently separated, the hand becomes a hand again, not a verdict. You might also give your hands one honest sentence before the room gives them a false one. Not a speech. Just a quiet line in your own mind. These hands kept things running. These hands worked through mornings most people never saw. These hands are not a failure of style. A sentence like that may not erase the awkwardness, but it can give you a place to stand while the feeling passes through. And when someone asks what you do, there may be a way to answer without shrinking. Something simple. I work on cars. Or, I'm a mechanic. No apology tucked inside it. No long explanation to make it sound more acceptable. Just the fact, spoken like it belongs in the room because it does. But there's one detail people often miss: polish is not the same thing as dignity. A smooth hand can belong to a tired person. A rough hand can belong to someone careful, skilled, loyal, and steady. The outside of a life rarely tells the whole story, even when people act like it does. So if you hide your calloused hands around old friends, it may not mean you are ashamed of everything you built. It may mean you are standing in a room where comparison has made honest work feel strangely visible. This is for the person whose hands carried a life that never looked polished, but was still honest. Your hands may not match the lobby. They may not match the perfume, the cold air, the glass, the carpet, or the soft smiles hanging in the room. But they match the mornings you got through, the work you learned, and the life that kept moving because you kept showing up.